Hello. Hello. This is a presentation of my art. Okay, first we have multiple pieces. Technically, this is one piece, but it's a collection. It's a lino cut print. It's called 2 Billion People. It represents the diverse communities in our lives, and I used, I basically carved like an outline of people. And if you look at the outlines, they're in a certain pattern, and these patterns are inspired by African art, cave paintings, New York art, and oh, African American art. An example of this would be Basquiat. He was a major inspiration. My next one is, these are called chalk paintings. These are paintings used by not higher quality materials. A major inspiration I've been, and major like theme with all my art recently has been using small and small materials, and not as popular and not as like high maintenance and high quality materials to make larger, bigger art. And this is an example of this. I used lower quality chalk. I did not use like expensive pencils or expensive markers. And I used like contours. Like what a contour is drawing one line to make an outline, or make a person. And with each chalk, I drew one line to design the art, the outlines. And later on, I added some details with other chalk drawings. And ultimately, I used the colors in the portraits to tell a deeper story. I used colors like hot pinks, reds to describe like personalities of the people I was drawing, and like connections that I felt with these people, and the people and how I know them. This is a paper sculpture. Once again, this is another example of the major theme. Instead of using wood or clay, I used paper as not only as like a outline, or like a outer shell, but as stilts and stands inside the sculpture to hold up the sculpture. This is called the Bang Watchers, and basically like this sculpture represents how throughout turmoil and pain, you could become anything, and you can become like any like form of art, basically. Like as you see on the painting right here, I mean, not the painting, the sculpture. You see a bloodied head, basically, with tears. But you also see complex colors, complex shapes, repeating themes. And you don't really tell the emotion that this head is giving. And that's why the name Bang Watcher comes in, because we don't know what the bang is exactly. It could be like a firework, the big bang, an explosion, a powerful force. It's just something that could bring you to tears. This sculpture was inspired by a lot of African art, a lot of tribal art, a lot of Native American art. It's inspired by a lot of video games and manga and anime. And a manga example would be like Devilman and Chainsaw Man. And I was also inspired by, well, video games, like I said. And one video game example that I wanted to do was like a lot of early PS1 and early N64 games. I didn't want to use like a lot of shapes. I wanted to be like You can see the poly, like the linear polygons in the three-dimensional shape. No, I didn't want circles to be involved with it. My next piece is a piece made out of paper. It's called The Hedgehog's Dilemma. And what the Hedgehog's Dilemma is basically a psychology term. It's harder to describe in one go, but like, think of like hedgehogs, right? When a hedgehog is like in the winter, it usually cuddles up for warmth next to other hedgehogs. But the problem with that is that hedgehogs have spikes, and you could hurt yourself cuddling up with somebody, but you need it to survive harsh situations. And that's a representation for humans in a way, because we need other people to survive and last through life. But with other people comes emotional turmoils and stuff like that. And what I wanted to use with this art was to represent such a situation. A goal with this one, I wanted, instead of to use chalks and pastels, I wanted to use more colored pencils, and that was a theme in this art piece right here. And I used colored pencils to match the dynamics of this relationship that I'm depicting in this art. This right here is a game that I'm working on. It's called BattleBoxia. And this game, a thing about this game, it uses something called block code or Scratch. Now, there's a stigma with Scratch that it's a elementary or childlike form of programming. And I wanted to use Scratch to make a bigger game that isn't you wouldn't see on the website. A bigger and more cinematic game. And with this, is a screenshot of the game. It's based off a lot of PS1, early Nintendo, and arcade games. Major inspiration would be Punch Out and Metal Gear. The game focuses on a lot of political aspects and war culture, and I wanted to use that to tell a story based on politics with a inspiration from like 90s video games and a major anime inspiration. These are all the art pieces that I was showcasing. I hope you enjoyed and found interest in my art, and I hope, I have not told you this, but in April 17th, I want to say 17th, my school's having a compendium. I would enjoy if someone who was seeing this would show up to that and maybe have more of a detailed discussion about the art that I'm trying to make. Thank you. Maybe play my game also once it's fully completed. Thank you.